Hello, good morning. Today we are going to start a new topic, poverty in India, concepts, measurement and trend. In this today's lecture, we will be covering the introduction, concepts of poverty and poverty line, measurement of poverty, trends in poverty over time and some policy issues. So before going to start, so there is a need to have reflections regarding the poverty. India's economic structure has changed dramatically over last 5-6 decades, among the most dynamic economic recently. Benefits of the growth not widely spread to various sections in society reached only marginally to some sections of society. So there is a need to look upon why there is a unequal distribution of the resources that is taking place in the country. Similar experiences to other countries too. If you see not only India, if you see the other countries also, so you will find the similar experiences like the lots of the differences in the uses of the resources which are available in the country. Now what the questions then arose, can we guarantee to all at least a minimum level of livings necessary for physical and the social development of a person? Because if the physical and social development of a person is not taking place, then the person cannot contribute much for the production, productivity, and that person will be a burden on the society if proper good education, good health facilities, and proper development of that person is not taking place. So, in this, we will try to explain the absolute poverty literature grew out of these questions, because absolute poverty, that is telling only the total number of the people they are living below the poverty line, how much resources they are accessing, so that is silent on that. So now the question arises, why there is a need of estimation of the poverty, why we are focusing that poverty must be estimated, because whenever we are making any plan, when we are making any program, when we are making any policies for the people of this nation or any developed countries, so we will have to see that how many people they are not getting these resources and how many people they are left out. So keeping in the view of that, or keeping the importance of that, the estimation of the poverty is very important, and we will have to look upon. And when the government starts to make any policy program or any benefit to the all the sections of the society, then government makes such a mechanism so that the poverty must be estimated, and on the basis of the data which we are available, we can make the policies for the people of that sections of the society who are not in a position to get all the resources which they should have to get it. Analysis of the property profiles by regions, socio-economic groups, and the specifically which we are taking the determinants for the estimation of the poverty, that is which the factors they are affecting the poverty. Because if you see poverty, there are the social factor that is also affecting, economic factors will also be affecting, even the political factors that will also be affecting. Because if the people they are not in a position to get the education, they are not in a position to get the good health facility, the people if they are not able to get the good nutrients value, so how their growth that can be taken place. Regarding the income, if the people they are not in a position to get the good level of income or the such level of income, so they can lead their good level of the living, they can provide the better education, the health facility to them, they can access the availability of the resources which they can use if they have a certain level of income. And in the political, why the political factors are also important? Because there is a decision making process. The voices of the people that must be heard in that. However, we are a democratic country. The governments are elected by the casting of the votes of the people. But still, what is the level of the ignorance? What is the level of the knowing? What is the level of the to understand the value of the democracy. So there is a need to look upon and such questions that is emerging in your mind, how, if there is a democratic society, there is a power of the vote, why the people they are not accessing their power of the vote by electing such people who can think about the welfare, growth and development of the people of this country. Now this which we do talk about the relative effects of the factors affecting the poverty, then the allocation of the resources, because we were discussing about the estimation of the poverty. Why the estimation of the poverty is important? I told you, because if you are making any policy, there is a need, the poverty must be estimated. We should have to have the figures, the authentic data, so that we can make such policies for such people. Then we were talking about the analysis of the poverty profiles by the region and the socio-economic conditions, because if you see the states who are the most developed states, the poverty will be different kind of the poverty, the resources availability will be different kind of the availability. If you see the other states where there is still they are struggling and they have not achieved such pace of the development, so there is a socio-economic reasons and even the mindset of the people, even the availabilities and the gender differences, about the using of religion and everything. So it means we are looking upon that how these reasons they are affected or not affected because of this socio-economic groups which we are talking about. Then we are taking the relative effects of factors affecting poverty. What are the some factors which are directly affecting the person, some factors we are relatively affecting that person. So what is the size of family, what is the level of thinking of family, what is the educational background of the people of that family. So these are the some factors that are having the relative factors which will be taken care of that. Now the allocation of resources to different regions and to various poverty reduction programs. So when we are, or the governments when they are distributing the resources, so which kind of the resources that are distributed to the particular nation, and which type of the programs that are started by the center as well as the state government. So there is a need to look upon the poverty must be estimated at that level, so that the authentic data that can be available, and on the basis of that we can think how the poverty that can be eradicated from our country. Then the precise estimates of the poverty neither say no nor universally accepted. However, we are so many years of independence, we have introduced a number of the programs, we are talking continuously doing the research. Some of the researchers they have, we are talking, if we do say about the Dandekar, Gini coefficients, there are so many things that has been done in that. So if we look upon that, so we can act as a broad way regarding that how the poverty that can be reasonably that can be so for the making and the guide of all these regarding the estimation of the poverty. Now if we look upon the estimates of the poverty, there is the intellectual genesis poverty very old. So we will have to look upon that. If you see the economists, the Adam Smith, Ricardo, Marx, they were talking about the subsistence waste concept. Then we will have to look upon that. So such are the concepts, so that has become very old. Why it has become very old? Because the growth, the efficiency, the development of a person, that can be possible if that person rises above the level of the subsistence, so that he or she they can think about that. The estimates and income level, that is very necessary, very important, because there is the human beings, there is the bare needs and the wants of the human beings that must be fulfilled. Keep him, her in a ordinary good health, and the no deficiency must be there. Estimated cost of the food, clothing, hut, oil for lamp, where there is no availability of the electricity and all that. There is a barber, domestic utensils to arrive to the subsistence per head. So such type of the items or the articles that has been taken. So on the basis of that, the basic needs of the people, so we can estimate poverty in a proper way. And by estimating that, we can make such an policy or program so that can be able to eradicate poverty in our country. In the absence of income distribution data, which we were talking about, or just I told you recently, when we are talking about all these things, so such type of the income data regarding the distribution, income distribution, that has much not available, because we only calculating the wealth in such a way that sometime when we are calculating the national income, such questions arises. The goods which are produced at the domestic level, some goods they are not passing through the market. If they are not passing through the market, how their prices and the total cost or that can be estimated, and how we can be able to tell what is the level of per capita income, about the authenticity and everything that has raises so many questions on it. So if you are looking upon all these things, then the Naroji compared computed subsistence level with the per capita production to draw attention to mass poverty. See, the subsistence level which we were talking about, the Marx, Ricardo and the Adam Smith, the old concept, the old genesis, they were talking about that. So the Naroji he raised many questions on that. That subsistence concept must be compared with the per capita production, so that we can analyze actually how much the per capita per production which is produced, so that can be distributed to that sections of the society. So remarkable work that parallel to an early work to the regarding the poverty by the Rowantine in the 1901 also. So it means what I want to convey to you, that if we estimate the poverty, so we will have to have the researches which already have been conducted on the finding the how the poverty can be estimated. So that must be taken care of that. And in this the lecture we have tried to what is the old genesis, what the researchers they are talking about, how the poverty that can be compared. So in that we have tried to estimate or to explain the poverty in the economy as well as at the international level. So if you define poverty, poverty is a multidimensional approach. We can't take poverty in one concept. If because deprivation in income, illiteracy, malnutrition, mortality, morbidity, access to water and sanitation, vulnerability to economic shocks. So the poverty is not only just we do talk just to fulfill the basic needs of the life. So poverty has a multidimensional approaches and multidimensional factors which the people they are facing. So that must be taken care of that. Income deprivation is linked in many cases to other forms of the deprivation. Whenever the income is low, so the deprivation, the chances that will be higher than that of. So many times the income is linked with the deprivation. See, if the because when we do talk about the economic growth, that must be that must be a sustained increase in the economic growth. The number of the availability of the goods and services must be there. But if you look upon all these things, so we will have to have maybe the economic growth that is not fulfilling the concept of the development, because the development in the which we are talking about the institutional changes. But regarding the availability of the or accessing the availability of the goods and services, so that we can think of that ki income deprivation that is linked with the poverty also in the many form of the deprivation. But do not always move together with others. It's not necessary that if the income is higher, the people they will be having the more human development, the people they will be having the more social development. So that is not, if you see in some instances you will not find such an examples of it. So it means if we are looking upon that, in this lecture we are specifically focusing on the poverty, or we can say that is a income poverty. And income, when we discuss about the income poverty, so then we will measure of poverty in the percentage of poor. So how many people they are living below the poverty line, how many people they are poor, and how we can measure the poverty. So specifically you have basic concepts that are taken to explain to you all. So two basic ingredients in the measuring the poverty. First one, that is a poverty line, the definition of the threshold income or consumption level. So the poverty line, that is defined the income level of a person or the consumption level, how many calories a person is consuming in the rural as well as in urban areas. There is an old concept of the poverty which we can say that not old, we can say it's a traditional way of measuring the poverty. So we are taking the income as well as the consumption level when we are making we are measuring the poverty. The second, which we are talking about, the data on the size distribution of the income. So or you can say that consumption, that is collected by sample survey representative of the population. National sample survey organizations in the different rounds regarding unemployment, everything we are getting, the government is making mechanism to collect the information regarding all these things. So on the basis of that, so we can measure the poverty. One, we are taking about the consumption and the income. Secondly, which we are talking about the availability of the data, the distribution of the income that is taking place in our country. Now we will discuss the last concept in that, because the remaining part we will be discussing in the next lecture. So the poverty line, that is the absolute versus relative. We are having defining the two types of poverty, that is one in the absolute form and the second one is a relative form. If we do talk about the relative poverty line, that is defined in relation terms with the reference to level of livings of another person. It means we are making the comparison from the one person to the another person. So that is regarding that, because we are taking the two aspects, one is the income and the second one is consumption, and we are comparing from the one person to the another person as a reference in that. Or in relation to an income distribution parameters, how the income is distributed, because I had told you earlier that the two concepts which you are using for the measurement of the poverty, about the income and the consumption, and about the distribution of the wealth among the people. So that's why we are making the comparison of a person from the one person to the another person in the relative form of the poverty. For example, 50% of means income of median mean minus 1 standard deviation. So if I am measuring that method of measurement of relative poverty, so we can measure with this, and if we will have any doubt, so we can discuss on that. Second, which we are talking about the absolute poverty line. Absolute, I told you earlier that we are talking about the refers to a threshold income consumption level defined in absolute terms. It means you are talking about the total, in the total figure which you are talking about. The person below predefined threshold income are called poor. So we are taking the relative poverty, we are taking the absolute poverty. In the relative poverty, we can make the comparative analysis between the one-on-one, so that we can make how many people they are in the higher strata and how many people they are in the lower strata of income group or in the consumption. In the absolute, we are taking the total number of, that is what all the same concepts which we are talking about that. If we have estimated, so we will discuss about the Indian poverty line in our next lecture. Thank you very much.